Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Tuesday, October the 4th, 2022. Tuesday, October the 4th. We had some good movement today. I'm really happy with what happened on General Hospital today. First and foremost, Diane is awake. She's awake and she's talking. And guess what? She's been the only one that gave real information. The hooker is a hooker named Esme Prince. She didn't see Esme. She saw her face, but right now her brain can't really lock in who she was because she's wearing, she says, like a cloak. She's like, but I just can't really focus in on the face right now. But guess what the clank clank was? She's wearing bracelets. What an idiot. I don't ever remember Esme wearing bracelets ever. And with that huge coat, tell me where those bracelets are going to go. How could they be wide enough to go around the outside of a coat? Because if they were the inside, well, perhaps if the coat was loose enough in the inside, the bracelets could move. But guess what? She also had gloves on in there. So they would have been met with the thickness of the I don't get it. Okay. But Diane said, no, the attacker was a woman. She goes, no, it was a woman. And said, she's about my height. And she's like, because he goes, do you remember anything else, any sounds? And that's when she said, yeah, her bracelets were clanking. And she goes, and I heard it when she raised up to do the hook. And so Diane's like, I don't know how I could focus on her bracelets, but and the hook, but I can't see her face yet. She goes, but it's like I know her from somewhere. So it's gonna come. Yes, Diane, it's gonna come. I'm so happy about that. And I'm happy to see her talking. And oh, Sonny's trying to act like she's his best friend. Now, before she got attacked, yeah, at the end of their conversation, it got decent. But oh, in the hospital room, oh, she's my friend. Diane, I'm so happy you're okay, Diane. Okay. Um, so I'm really happy with the way that all turned out. And then we have, pretty much nonsense with Victor telling Nicholas, bottom line, he's going to divorce Ava. Ava didn't come back to him. Ava did not come home. So Victor is saying, no. She's expendable. You got to get rid of her. And he had Valentine, I guess, go through Ava's stuff and found the confession letter that Nicholas that gave her. But guess what? Confession to what? Esme's not dead. But okay. So that's not going to hold weight. But Victor is now resorting to the fact because Valentine made it clear, look, Nicholas is expendable. And if something were to happen to Nicholas, he slips on soap in the shower. He falls while riding his horse. He falls off the parapet or whatever it's called. Goodness, he could choke on a steak. He could, man, so many accidents that could happen to Nicholas, right? That Spencer would inherit everything, and Spencer's easier to work with, more controllable. So Victor's like, you know what, my boy? I think you're right. If Nicholas doesn't get in line, Nicholas is no longer needed. And Victor ripped him a new one because Valentine gave Victor the confession. She goes, why would you do something like this? Because she loves me. She would never. He goes, until she's mad at you. Until you do something else and she's mad at you, and then this ends up in the hands of the police. So in the end, Nicholas does say, okay, fine. I'll divorce Ava. But the way he said it, I thought, no, Nicholas has something up his sleeve. He gave in too easy. He's not about to divorce Ava. That's just Nicholas being Nicholas. So speaking of Ava, who just got out the hospital, just 100% got out the hospital, who yesterday could barely do a lap around the nurse's station pushing her IV pole, goes to Spring Ridge to see Ryan. I'm like, how on earth are you up like that and dressed? She wanted to make sure, for one, he was still there, for two, to see if he was still a shut-in, right? So when she tries to move a chair, she kind of hurt herself, and she gets all in Ryan's face, you know, and she says, yeah, some person stabbed her with a hook. And then she told Ryan, but isn't that exactly what you did to one of your victims? Would you hook me, Ryan? Would you stab me with a hook? And Ryan is like, how, in his brain, how dare somebody do that to you? Because you best better believe I would be the one to gut you with a hook if I felt like you needed it. You know, he wasn't too happy with that. And so then she's taunting, she's talking about Esme and how much trouble she was and how cocky she was. And, she disappeared, right during Trina's trial. But there's so many accidents that could happen on Spoon Island. She just overstepped, I guess. And Ryan, actually, he turns his eyes and looks at Ava when she's whispering in his ear about, I think, something about Esme. Oh, she used to love to come here and see you, right? Uh-huh. Yeah, but she, and he glanced to the side and she's like, there you are, you know. But Ryan could always move his eyes. That's how he's communicating, by blinking. But this is the first time he moved them to look at somebody, but he didn't move his head. So when she's sitting across and she's really explaining, yeah, Esme Prince won't be seen again. And he's like, no. And his brain is thinking, see, he doesn't know Esme would never abandon me. She would never leave me. So I'm thinking, and then he's getting mad. I don't know if she paid attention, if Ava saw, but he only has the left hand, because his left hand balled up in a fist when it was down, by his leg. And I said, oh, I wonder, did she see that? Because that shows he does have control over his muscles. Wow. She goes, I still think you could be faking it. So, she's talking to Ryan, and the funny thing is, I'm going to go to this and I'm going to go to it now. Guess who finally shows up? I guess once Diane was able to identify was a woman, guess who shows up? Esme Prince, in that same jacket, in a cloak. But I tell you what, doesn't that just look suspicious? I'm sorry. You see somebody lurking around like that? The dress of the hooker has already been described. See, any cop could see her walking around with the hood and that jacket. Wouldn't you pull her over in for questioning? Wouldn't you just do that? She just walks around. She's at Kelly's, right there. That's right outside of Kelly's. Okay, but that's right. I forgot. Esme is smarter than everybody. Fools everybody. Wow. Okay. So Dante was talking to Robert, and he goes, okay, so now that we know, Diane gave us some vital information. Now that we know that the attacker is a woman, that changes a lot. Because they've always said the actions have kind of been direct, like anger. He goes, so now we got to figure out who else all these victims What else do they have in common? See, Brando is the wild card. That's what's throwing off everything is Brando. So, okay, I think things are going to pick up now because how long can they drag this out anyway? And guess what, everybody? Even though we haven't seen him today, it's not Rory. I said it wasn't Rory. If you notice, and they made a point of it, when they were at the axe throwing range, Rory is bingo, right-handed. He threw that axe as hard and bullseye, right-handed. The hooker is left-handed. Okay, Rory would have to be a pretty skilled ambidextrous person. And he would have bragged and showed off he could do that bullseye with both hands, but no, he's right-handed. So Esme, I guess it is. I completely fast forwarded the majority of Carly and having to recant and retell the whole childhood story of Reese, you know, and their family as she visited her old high school. Okay, and Drew having to comfort her and oh, it's not your fault. Fast forward, fast forward, fast forward. And then we have, oh, this was another interesting person who amazes me. Jocelyn first goes to Sonny's office by herself. I'm Sonny Corinthos' stepdaughter. Oh, do you see how she's throwing that around? Like she's proud of it, like she's privileged, like she and Sonny are like this, okay? And I left my jacket here. I'm gonna go look for it. He goes, no, you're not. Because first she walks in, she goes, and who are you? He looked at her, he goes, I'm the new chef. And these are my tools. And that's what she, well, and he goes, no, you're not. And she goes, Sonny Corinthos is not going to be happy that you're preventing me from pretty much doing what I want to do. And he goes, well, your access is denied. He says, and going into Mr. Corinthos's office, oh, that's off limits too. So she looks and she stops. She goes, he's not going to be happy you were rude to me. As she's going out the door, he goes, I'll tell him you were by. You know, he's like, I can care less about you, chick. So, of course, oh my goodness, Jocelyn must see her grades are definitely suffering because Jocelyn can't spend any time with her books, anytime studying whatsoever, okay, or in class for that matter. So Jocelyn goes to the Metro Court. Michael was there. He's meeting with Valentine. Valentine wants Michael to consider coming back to ELQ because Valentine says he has, you know, a project that he's on that's going to require his attention away. And he's like, Michael, he goes, and I don't trust Ned there by himself. He goes, you have to bring something to the table that Ned does not have. And Michael said, well, that's always been that way, you know? So Valentine is like, look, you coming back, it's going to give you the time and the resources to do whatever outside project you want to do. He said, we both have outside projects and I need more time, more freedom to do them. So think about it, Michael. And Jocelyn and Rose, Michael, can I talk to you? So Valentine says, well, we're leaving. Get back to me, Michael. And she goes, I think I know where Sonny's keeping Dex. He's keeping him somewhere at the restaurant. And my whole thing is like, what made you think that? Even though, yeah, we are seeing this crazy Carver guy there, but you know how many safe houses and kill houses that Sonny has? I think this is probably the first time he did keep somebody there at the restaurant. They're not normally kept there. So Mike, she goes, I think it's there. And we have to get there. We have to save Dex. So then it shows Jocelyn and Michael coming in. And Michael trying to boss his way around, you know, my sister, we feel Dex is being kept here. And here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna let my sister go look for him, search the place and look for him. Because you can either have her search the place, look for him and find him, or the cops come in, search the place, look for him and find him. And if he is found here, you do know Sonny Corinthos is going to say you acted on your own. So I suggest you let my sister go look. So he does. He lets Jocelyn go find Dex, who is in the freezer or the refrigerator. It's not a freezer. In the refrigerator, lips getting ready to turn blue. He was just cold as he wanna be, and just goodness gracious. How long has that man been on that hook? How long do you guys think he's been there? At least a day or two, right? At least. Didn't he have to go to the bathroom? I was like, well, when is he getting a bathroom break? Goodness. Jocelyn found him and she should be, ooh, man, they didn't give you any potty breaks. So, she cuts him down using the carver's knives. But it's funny, when the camera went and showed she had the knife up there, she cutting with the rope in his skin. I'm like, girl, you gonna cut his hand doing that. You gotta cut between the ropes, Jocelyn. Obviously you haven't cut anybody down from a hook before the way you did that. But of course it's Jocelyn that got him down, and she and Dex, are in the main part of the little where you eat at the restaurant, right? The lobby area or the dining area. And Michael's like, okay, we're gonna go. And the guy's like, no, you're not going nowhere. And Michael said, yeah, we are gonna go. Jocelyn says, I'll call the cops. And he goes, you're gonna leave when Sonny Corinthos says you can leave. And so Jocelyn's going to get her phone. And Dex is like, no cops, right? So just then, Sonny comes walking through the door. But see, at GH, Sonny was in the room when Diane told Robert that the attacker was a woman, because she wanted Sonny to be, and she goes, maybe Sonny coming in can help restore some of my memory, because I was with him there earlier, right? And so first she was saying, yeah, she saw Dex was there. She goes, but no, when I walked out of the office with the papers, because it was dark in there, I did not see Dex. She's like, and I was trying to read the papers, and I'm thinking, yeah, in the dark. So how much darker was Brando's office? And she goes, but for a period, I came to, and I could see Dex. That's probably when Dex was trying to work on her, But when she clearly said no, it was a woman. The attacker was a woman. Sonny now knows. I'm surprised Sonny didn't pull out his phone and start texting the Carver saying, abort operation. Abort Operation Dex. Because Sonny found out that, no, it's a woman. And at that point, he realizes, okay, he's telling the truth. Whatever. Go figure. He should have just said, I'm innocent from the beginning. Which he's been just yelling his innocence, and nobody would listen to him. So anyway, bottom line, Sonny's come in now, and he is going to, Michael's going to accuse him. I told you had him, and you were going to kill, he's innocent. And Sonny's going to say, I know he's innocent. I was coming here to let him go. Yeah, whatever. He still isn't going to face Sonny. They still aren't going to call the cops. They're not going to, so that's that. But Jocelyn just proved. And when Michael was talking to the Carver, Jocelyn was like, my brother. I mean, she was just like, oh my goodness, girl, I want to slap you. I want to completely slap you. The way she was, told you. So anyway, let's go to comment corner. Comment corner. Kimberly says, LOL, you're so right. There was some point that I made yesterday that she felt I was right on. Robin said, glad Diane is out of surgery. Ready to see if she knows anything. Diane knew a lot. Diane knew a lot, and I was so happy to hear from Diane. Cindis said, agree that Drew and Carly's first concern should be for their young children. I know he should be worried too. Instead, Drew struts out of the shower with the towel wrapped around his waist, but looks like he needs to dry off. He needed to wipe that baby oil off, really. Actually get back in the shower with some soap and rinse that baby oil off. Ron says, I like how Sunny put down the law with Christina. She thinks she's about it, then she doesn't have it. She loves Sunny, but wants to live her life. Yes, she does. And Carly didn't fall for the whole, I took a shower because he just wanted to play. Yeah, Carly didn't fall for that for once. For once. You notice they really have yet to have Drew and Carly fall in the sack. Wow. Lisa says, Trina's going out of town with Pretty Boy Roy. Could be fun. Yes, Sonny had his cutter guy cut up some lemons and limes with that knife at the no service bar. Yeah, right. When Mason took off after Ava, Austin kept following him. There was never enough time between him chasing Ava and Austin coming up on him. He would have to get the hook, the coat, the gloves. Yeah, I never thought it was Mason. I really never thought it was Mason. I don't think Mason would have been the kind to put on a disguise to whack somebody. I think he would have broke her neck real quick, right? Anna Rihanna says, can't watch Drew and Carly. No real chemistry. And it's supposed to be Jason's twin. I know. Fast forward. Help from Cyrus. That could be a two-edged sword. Yep. Christina is Sunny's daughter. Love. Yeah, she put a heart. She likes that. I think there will be competition between Josh and Christina for Dex's attention. I think so too. Josh is annoying me right now. Jocelyn's really annoying me right now. She's too nosy, full of attitude. She's over Finn and Elizabeth. Fast forward again. That's me too. Finn and Elizabeth, nope. Lucy says, should be Christina with Dex. And Hello There says, Drew is Charlie Brown, Mr. Doof, and is so naive for a grown man. He gets on my nerves. I wish he'd either get recast or leave the show because he serves no real purpose, really, with the show moving forward. The Drew storyline never really did. Once they actually brought back Jason and Drew became Drew, there was no storyline for him. There was only storyline for him when Steve Burton was off the show and he was playing Jason Morgan. But it's funny. Billy Miller played a good Jason Morgan to me. I actually got used to Billy Miller being Jason. Cameron Matheson could never be Jason. He could never play the part of Jason. And the part he's playing, I mean, goodness, realistically, he's playing Ryan in All My Children. He's playing Ryan. That's exactly how Ryan reacted to everything. That's just Ryan. And no, we don't need Ryan on General Hospital. Let's see. And Sandy says Christina and Josh both looking for Dex was funny. Yep. Who will he end up with? It's gonna be a triangle. Drew must have at least 10 bottles of baby oil on him. I know. I am so proud of Carly. For once, she didn't jump into bed, I know, with him. I wonder how a double date with Trina, good guy Roy, Josh, and bad boy Dex would turn out. Woo! Trina wouldn't like that. Dex is actually too old for Jocelyn in the real world. He's too old for Jocelyn. Um, I know. So anyhow, that's Comic Corner. That's all a Comic Corner. So thank you for the comments. Today's a pretty good episode of General Hospital. I did like the way it moved. And I really loved hearing what Diane, the insights that she gave. So I will be back tomorrow for the Wednesday episode of General Hospital.